not. It's not even a NoGear. Why am I itching so much? Oh, I think it's the sun. The blood. The blood's rushing. You know. So okay, cut that bit. I think I forgot to write completely what the second hardware was. But anyways, and I think I'm noticing this for the first time. The front tires has some sort of camber. It's like slide. It's like a negative camber, which means it can turn pretty good. It uses a D16. I forgot the name now. I just remembered the name and I forgot it. That is so unprofessional from my side. Because even if I get myself a calculator, I know I should have been doing math, but hey, I'm not a genius. So let's say 106 multiplied by 7,200 RPMs gives me 763,200 revolutions divided by 5,252. 145 horsepower. That's how much horsepower my Honda Civic is pushing out. My god, this itching, this unbearable pain. Hello, I'm Yuvraj Kumpawat, and this is my very first car review. Well, it's not sort of actual car review, it's more of a virtual car review because I'm using my framework. Wait, let me. So what I'm doing is I actually created a framework for my final year project, and I'm really sorry about the glare. It's just the sun's beaming and it's blinding me every second I look towards it. So what I'm doing, I created this framework for my final year project. Okay, I think I'm saying it for the second time. And what my framework does is it takes all the values of a real car. So let's say I'm using a Honda Civic. So yeah, this will be the very first car that I will be reviewing, and that's the Honda Civic EJ1. Now I'm glad you asked why I went with this car first, as this is the very first episode for a NoGear. So this is the very first car that I will be reviewing virtually in a game, in a framework. And the question was, why am I going with this car first? Because obviously this is the first car in the list of cars that I will be reviewing. Yeah, spoilers, there's Jaguar, McLaren and Porsche. I'm not going with the raycast car and the raycast NASCAR because this one is just the base, that's the parent class. Because of him, these all guys exist, and NASCAR is shit. I have to do some minor fixes in the NASCAR. I think it has to do something with the torque powers, like wheels are like uncontrollably spinning, but it's not like going forward. So I need to work on that physics material. So this is the framework. The car that we are witnessing is a Honda Civic EJ1. Don't ask why the wheels look a bit dislocated. I'll tell you why. It's for a reason. And that reason is so that once I load the framework, oh, it's even way more sunny in the game. You see how the wheels are attached to the car, like perfectly at a perfect length. The front and the rear tires, they're at perfect length. Oh, flawless. So this is the Honda EJ1, Honda Civic EJ1 in its all glory. And wait, just brake, man. For God's sake, just brake. And you can see those red lines under there. Wait, let me just press tab. Yeah. So the blue line is it still moving? Damn. Well, whatever. Yeah, now it's turning. Right now I'm at neutral gear, so, and you can see around here, like all those values on the top left corner of the screen has everything: the clutch scale, the surface, the drive torque, and the engine torque, the engine RPM, throttle value, and brake value. So, wow, that's an instant. Brake value goes from 0 to 1 in a snap, but then the throttle is going to take ages to even go from 0 to 1 because it's a float point. So let me just put that in a reverse gear. Now you can see the gear is changed to R. Yep, then it's reverse gear. Okay, enough of my thing. Oh shit. Now Honda Civic EJ1. Especially because since I think the Civic started with CRX, if I'm not wrong, that was made in the 80s. I mean, I think around 1989 or something. And till then, till now, till this date, Civic is still the most reliable and most it's kind of like a love and hate. Like some people love the new Civic, but then some people also hate the new Civic. And the most common group of Civic fanboys or fangirls, they usually reside to the older, the EG6, the EK9, those second, third, fourth, fifth generation of Civic. And this one, EJ1, not EG, it's EJ1, because EG6 was the hatchback. And Civic, this is I think the first Civic which was actually a sedan rather than a hatchback, because it does share some components from the older Civic. Let's say the headlights, the yellow headlights, that's from an EG6. And even the taillights, they're from EG6. It's just they're more rounded on the sedan rather than more flat. If you look at over here, this is not what the regular EJ1 looks like. This is actually a modified version of EJ1. And it was first seen on the very first movie scene of movie The Fast and the Furious during a truck heist scene. And there were 3 cars. These were the 3 cars. The Honda Civic. Pretty good, pretty tough, pretty reliable actually. And this was actually a tuner's, not even tune, this was like a skeleton which you can build upon and do some very wild and crazy tunes on these cars, especially on the Civics. And if anyone had a Civic, you can, if any of your friends have a Civic, you're most commonly gonna see they have a laptop on the passenger seat, and that's actually there for a reason. So as always, they say to always be cautious when you see a Civic with a laptop on the passenger seat, because obviously they are actually remapping the whole engine with some software and hardware. Because here's the one I wrote down, because I know CMD Flash and an Alien Tech KESSNK TAC. Moving on, as you can see, I'm in that Unreal Engine-esque city. Now right now I'm at the neutral gear. Once I put in the gear, it has a 5-speed manual transmission, so it goes to the 5th gear, which is actually a good thing, because few weeks ago I was dealing with a gearbox issue. I think it has to do something with the calculation of the gearbox. I was dealing with that. And it's front wheel drive, so obviously once I accelerate like a madman, the front wheels are gonna spin first. And there it goes. And yep. Oh, understeer. Oh my god, okay, that's a bit wild. And also the reason why I picked the Honda Civic EJ1 as the first car to review is because it's actually fun. And I'm dealing with understeer again. Oh my god. Whoa, calm down bro, calm down. I think it has to do something with the suspension, because since I'm using a raycast suspension, it's just so weird. Yeah, I think I know why I'm dealing with understeer, because I have to force myself when I'm turning. I need to press handbrake and force it to, oh my god, this looks phenomenal. It's so fun to drive those front wheel drives, especially like since they weren't even as much powerful as a German exotics, not even the exotics, like a German cars or the Italian cars. They were just, I think it's because of the Japanese, because what they wanted was something which you can rely on, and it's also fun to drive, and that's what makes a Civic so good. It's reliable, it's fun, and it's front wheel drive, and you can customize the shit out of it. Oh my god, that's okay. That was a really bad entry from my side. And since it has a 5-speed manual, a front wheel drive sedan, which, as you know, it races on Sunday, but it also daily drives on Monday as well, because it uses a VTEC engine. And the VTEC specific is, if I'm not wrong, I think I've written it here somewhere. Wait, let me get my notes. Yeah, maybe I forgot to write it down. Oh, I think I changed the camera. My bad. Sorry. Oh my god, why did I went to? I need to. You know what will help me with this? It's a UI. A UI will help me if I'm changing the gear properly or not. Other than that, I'm actually enjoying driving this small city block. I'm like drifting around the corners, and the game's at 30 frames per second. And yes, there was a problem. Sorry. So the idle RPM, I actually checked on. I had to use some AI tools like ChatGPT to help me understand, because there are some informations which it's really hard to find it on the internet. And since I'm throwing all the actual real life values of a car into my framework, I have to be really careful and try my best to stay true to its real life accuracy. And because of that, wait, let me just gear down and pull a handbrake. You can see the torque. If I accelerate, the idle RPM is 850, and the max RPM of Honda Civic is 7,200. And you know what's the best part about my framework is? I don't have a horsepower variable. I'm not even using a horsepower. What it does is it takes the torque, it takes the RPM, multiply both of them, and then divide it by 5,252, because that's what they think is where the torque and the RPM crisscrosses, and that's how you get the horsepower, which is around 151 horsepower. If you can't believe me, let me help you guys with it. I've actually got the calculations here. So this is how you calculate a horsepower. No, that's not the one. Yeah, this is how you calculate a horsepower. It's torque multiplied by RPM divided by 5,252. And because of that, since it produces 110, actually it's 109 if I'm not wrong. It's meant to go, yeah, it's 106, but for some reason it doesn't want to go to that 106. So we'll just take a rough guess. 110, and obviously the max RPM is 7,200 RPM, and it gives 151 horsepower, which is roughly around above 145. Because even if I get myself a calculator, I know I should have been doing math, but hey, I'm not a genius. So let's say 106 multiplied by 7,200 RPMs gives me 763,200 revolutions divided by 5,252. 145 horsepower. That's how much horsepower my Honda Civic is pushing out, and that's actually a good thing. Not to 60 at 9 seconds, which I know in today's automotive terms it seems very slow. It's like one car year to even get to that 0 to 60, but it's actually pretty advanced in its time. I mean, especially it's a family car. It's not even a race car, it's a family car. But people customized it, they modified it to make it a race car. And that's what's the specialty about Honda Civic. And here's also more technical values over here. Yeah, as I first saw this car in the truck high scene in the Fast and the Furious. Vin Diesel, not even Diesel, his name is Dominic Toretto and his crew, they were stealing something from the trucks. I think probably some DVDs, because I don't know why. But they were stealing something, which is obviously not a good thing to do. And they went and they were basically driving this car. And if you compare this car to the actual movie scene, you can see there was like a green glow or something, which I didn't put that because it's dumb. And okay, the collision seems a bit funky, but it's fine, because my main purpose is the physics handling and making a little bit realistic. And you can see engine RPM, the idle RPM is at 900, and once I accelerate, the RPM's at 7200. That's the max RPM. And the top speed is 185 kilometers per hour. That's actually pretty decent, if you ask me. Yeah, that actually seems pretty decent, like 185, oh my god. And especially in this car, which is so much fun. And it's also VTEC, so yeah, you can basically race in this car as well. So that's a plus point. And it weighs only 1090 kilos. That's also a good thing. I don't think that's too heavy. And other than that, yeah, this is Honda Civic EJ1, and using my framework to make a car review about it. And I can drift around the corners. I can handle so well. And for now, I'm using slick tires. Like, I had to make a physics material, and I crashed. Yeah, no wonder. I had to make a physics material in Unreal Engine to make slick tires, and that's the one only I will be sticking with right now, because it's slick. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It's just giving out the basic information about car, and this is my first episode of a virtual car review using my framework. And thank you very much for joining me. Thank you so much, and see you guys next week, because next week we'll be reviewing a Jag. Wait, as Jeremy Clarkson put it, wait, yes, there it is. I have a Jag. Yep. Specifically, it's the Jaguar XJ220. So next week we'll be reviewing that. Thank you so much for joining this, and see ya.